Hey, it's Kyle from Anonymous MTB. We're here in the Tahoe National Forest. I got my 2011 Chevy Express all-wheel drive van. It's kind of a mountain bike camper van. Let's check it out. Picked this van up used a few years ago, had 120,000 miles on it. It was an old work van. It was a Rockstar Energy van, so they had no interior, nothing. It was just bare bones. Good platform to start. It's all-wheel drive, which is a key point for me because I was moving from California up into Oregon. So being in the snow, I definitely needed that all-wheel drive, and it's a good platform to build a good camper van on. Knowing I was going to do all the maintenance and repair myself, it was a no-brainer going with GM. I spent a lot of time working on Chevys and GMCs. They're real simple, real easy, parts are plentiful, and I'm really comfortable working on them. Recently my wife and I moved up to Tahoe. We got a house here that has a car lift in it, which is any mechanic's dream come true. Makes it simple for repairs and modifications to the van. This 2011 Express comes equipped with a 5.3 liter V8 and a 4-speed automatic transmission. This is the all-wheel drive model, so it's also got a transfer case, and the rear axle does have a locking differential. The suspension on this vehicle is a torsion bar setup. The torsion keys are actually off of a 2006 Silverado lift kit. It gets you about 3 inches of lift up front, and for the rear I was able to compensate and get 3-inch block on the leaf spring. I'm using Bilstein shocks all the way around. These shocks are actually for a 3-inch lift off of an H3 Alpha. The tires I'm running are BF Goodrich All-Terrains. They're 275/70/17s on stock rims. GM made the all-wheel drive option on these vans up until 2014. It's a full-time all-wheel drive with no option for a low-range gear, but everything I've had it in mud and snow, it's done really well. I put about 60,000 miles on this van. Right now I'm getting about 15-16 miles per gallon, highway and road mixed. So far, maintenance has been pretty straightforward on this van. I haven't had many failures. I only had a leaking radiator once, but with this type of mileage, things like that are to be expected. My first exterior mod for the van was the roof rack. It's a steel roof rack, custom made from a performance shop that was next to my work in Southern California. It's kind of a one-off thing, but I needed a rack big enough to fit 2 of my kayaks. On the front of my roof rack, I have my 46-inch LED light bar. On the driver's side I have my road shower, and on the passenger side I have an awning. On the very back of the rack I have a third option for a bike rack for extra space for shuttle runs, and I also have max tracks and 2 kayaks on top. To access everything on the roof rack, we installed an aluminous passenger side ladder. It's an extremely expensive ladder and a pain in the ass to install, but once it's on, it's awesome. So this van did not come equipped with a tow package, so I had to install an aftermarket hitch so I could carry my mountain bikes. So I'm not a full-time van lifer, mostly weekend trips or week-long trips. That influenced our idea for the interior of the build. We wanted to keep it really simple and really functional. We built this van in one weekend for a last-minute camping trip that we got invited to. We kept it super simple, built it for about 250 bucks. The plan was always to revisit it and kind of refine the design, but it's been so functional ever since that I haven't had the need to go back and redo anything. The van is a 2-seater. We insulated the walls of the van and used wood paneling to cover that insulation. It's a fairly cheap paneling. There's definitely way better, prettier options out there, but this works for us. Built a raised wood platform bed. Got a memory foam mattress on top and a lot of storage options underneath. This is our prefab wood cabinet picked up at Home Depot for about 50 bucks. It holds all of our kitchen and cooking utensils, and it's mounted straight to the wall of the van. This is our fold-out cook station. Like the rest of the interior, this is a last-minute build, but it's real nice to get outside and cook when the weather's good. I have a couple of cargo nets around the van to hold our lightweight clothes and jackets, and I have some LED light strips wired into the dome light of the van, as well as a couple pod lights hanging out for extra reading lights. It gets pretty cold out here in the Tahoe National Forest, so we got the Mr. Heater little buddy. We usually turn it on about a good 30-40 minutes before we jump in the van to go to sleep, and it keeps it nice and toasty. Inside the van, I'm also keeping 5 gallons of water as well as an emergency toilet, which luckily we haven't had to use yet. Up front, we have a real basic bathroom curtain rod with some custom-made curtains that provides a lot of privacy. I keep a couple camp chairs and some tools. So I got a bow saw, a hatchet, an axe, and an ice scraper. For recovery, I keep a set of max tracks as well as a tub full of recovery gear, which includes tow strap, bottle jack, jack stands, flares, and extra tools. At the end of the day, there's a lot of choices for vans. We all know the sky's the limit on these van build-outs. But if you're like us and just like to get outdoors and camp and have a good time, a van like this is a great option. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Thanks for joining us on this van walk around.